MGTVUSA. Οι δραστηριότητες της ελληνοαμερικανικής κοινότητας με βίντεο και πλήρες ρεπορτάζ.
Mr. Dallas, tell us about Athens Square Park and how did it come about?
Athens Square came about, the idea was Dennis Dilas. He had this great idea to create an Athens Square Park for the Greek community, especially because the population of Astoria then was very, very Greek. We were the major population. I was a community board manager. And in 1986, Dennis came to see me, and he came to see me, and he raised the question of creating Athens Square Park. So we met at the Aegetos, it's a little restaurant on 30th Avenue near the park, with Peter Vallone, who was the president of the city council. And Peter Vallone was so excited about the idea of creating this Athens Square Park that he whipped out his check and gave us $100 to open the account for Athens Square. And it was a great idea. And with Peter Vallone, who was the president of the city council, on board, it was a home run for us. The Greek community was looking for something to identify itself with, and back then in the 80s, it was a great idea for an Athens Square Park to bring the community together. We were just coming into our own at the time. We had a good population. We were starting to make our voices heard. Back then, Pier 17 playground where Athens Square is today was a handball court, and it was a mess. It was litter, kids hanging out all the time. So it was a great location for Athens Square Park.
The first time that we started from the beginning. From the beginning, the Athens Square, I was the president of the Greek American homeowners, and we started to do T-shirts. We started even the mailing address was the Greek American homeowners. So we try. It was the Greek American homeowners that really started the Athens Square. Period.
Dennis Dilas had an idea to create an Athens Square park. I called Peter Vallone, the president of the city council, and I said, let's sit there. We met at the Aegetos, this little restaurant where Athens Square is today, and we sat there, and Peter Vallone said, great idea, you need his support, he's a city councilman. Great idea, he whipped out a check, and he gave us a check to open the account for Athens Square. And great idea, we all got on board, and then we reached out to the Parks Commissioner, and that's how it all began.
Also, I found out that we're Sicilian, my father and myself and my family, and that's all, we went back to Sicily, it was all started by the Greeks, so I understand we're all related. And that was probably why my father and myself and everybody else, George Duras was like a stepbrother. And as soon as I became as the head of the city council, the second most powerful person in the city, I was inundated by Italians that wanted to change Ditmars Boulevard to Via Roma, my Greek friends who wanted to change it to Athens Boulevard. I said, hold it. And I went upstairs and I said, what are you people doing here? What are you talking about? I said, you're telling me and my community that we can't have a statue donated by Greece and founded by Greece and paid for by people in Astoria as well as Greece? I said, just drop everything and get the permission, and I want that permission right now.
The first time that I was approached in order to, and I was asked to help with the construction of Athens Square was almost 25 years ago, where I was, when I was working with the Greek American Homeowners Association. But at that time, the project was at its beginnings, and it was a time that everybody was asking for money to do something. So it was very hard. It was very hard for Dennis Dilas to persuade people that this could be a worth place for the purpose that it was intended to be.
Well, we had a crime problem. Graffiti was rampant, extremely rampant, and we had our crime problem, much as it is today. You know, I don't see much difference. Any community, the ongoing problem is maintenance of any community. If you don't keep on top of it, the community becomes deplorable. In Athens Square Park, the whole concept was accepted and approved by the Community Planning Board. Julia Pappas had a very big role in it. She was president of the Parks Committee. Peter Vallone reached out to the commissioner. It was great. In '93, we were ready to unveil the statue of Sophocles. And we went through the Arts Commission. It was a very big process. The Arts Commission wanted something very modern. We wanted something classical. So if you look at Socrates, he's sitting on a slab, a modern slab, and he is classical. That was the agreement. I went down to see Peter Vallone at the time because the Arts Commission was making us nuts, and he called the mayor, and the next thing I know, we were approved for a classical work. This was the work that we wanted by Foudakis. And it's a beautiful work. So in '93, in May of '93, we were ready to unveil Socrates. I was calling Mayor Dinkins, writing him, calling him, everything, faxing him. There was no answer. So I went to City Hall to see Mayor Dinkins. There was a meeting there with the district managers. And when Mayor Dinkins went to the bathroom, I followed him. I wanted to get this guy. And I followed him in the bathroom, and I confronted him in the bathroom. I said, Mayor, you know, I'm calling you, blah, 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 blah. You're not responding. I need you to come to do the unveiling of Athens Square Park of Socrates. We're just a handful of volunteers. We're not a big, rich corporation. Okay, I'll be there. Tell my girl I'll be there. So with Dinkins came the publicity. That's why I wanted Mayor Dinkins there. He put us on the map. And it was a great ceremony. When Dinkins came, the Parks Commissioners came. Every politician came from Queens. Tom Manton, the congressman, Carolyn Maloney came, Vallone came. I mean, they were all there with Dinkins because of Dinkins. And all the media came. So Mayor Dinkins put us on the map. I recently saw Mayor Dinkins at the Inner Circle at the Hilton in Manhattan. And it was nice to see Dinkins. He's 88 years old now. And I said, Mayor, you remember Athens Square? Oh, he says, how can I forget? So it was nice to see Mayor Dinkins.
But then, slowly, when he got the first approvals and the media, the newspapers started to show some of the drawings and these kind of things, people were inspired and slowly started to contribute towards the completion of Athens Square.
Athena, the statue of Athena, a gift from Greece. And I remember that day. I was the MC when we unveiled Athena in '93. Giuliani was the mayor. Dimitri Avramopoulos came from Greece. He was the mayor of Athens. And here's this beautiful monument. Jack Buccaleri, we had no money for a base. It was that bad. And Jack Buccaleri, I called Jack from the Italian Federation. And within a week, there was the base, and she was installed. Jack did that. Never asked us for $1. He did Athena. He also did Aristotle. He did that for us, Jack. And it wasn't just the Greeks. Everybody chipped in. And the unveiling of Athena to me was a momentous day. We had about 3,000 people at Athens Square that day. And it was just great that the mayor's guy, I was the MC, the mayor's guy comes and whispers in my ear and says, the mayor is running 40 minutes late. 40 minutes, what do you do? We're ready for the unveiling. It was 2 o'clock. That was the time we were scheduled for. And I said, oh, now what do I do? I turned around, I said, we have a lot of Greek officials here that would love to say a couple words. And I turned around, I said, please come and say a couple words. And it filled the 40 minutes. And it was just, what a day. That was the greatest day that I remember at Athens Square, the unveiling of Athena. And it was such a momentous day. And also when we did, every monument was great, but Athena to me was a special day. And we honored Avramopoulos because it was a great gift from the people of Athens to the people of New York City.
Aristoteles, the statue, they brought it from Greece, from Thessaloniki, and it was in the funeral home of George Stamatiadis because they didn't have the money to install it. When they told me about that, I says, we needed $25,000 to put it. I says, I don't think we have a problem. We're going to make a dance for the Greek American homeowners. We're going to collect the money. And that's what we did. So I approach George Fakiris, I approach Steve Valiotis, I approach all the bankers, Joe Pistilli, and when we have the dance, I say, guys, we are over here to help the Athens Square in order to install Aristotelis. And we started, we got almost from all of these guys, we got about $5,000, $3,000, $2,000, $1,000, and we actually I raised that day, I'm sorry I had to say that I raised that day $33,000 altogether. So we gave to the Athens Square $25,000, the rest of the money for the Greek American homeowners, scholarships and all these other things.
I knew that it was an effort for the statue of Sophocles to be done, and at that time I was told that it was the last statue to be installed in Athens Square. At the same time, I learned from Dennis Sidilas and from Dimitri Tsakas. I learned that the statue was almost done, and it was waiting at the studio of the sculptor to be paid and moved and be installed at Athens Square. And then I spoke to the board of the directors of Greek American Homeowners and my friend George Alexiou.
He told me, George, we have to do something about Athens Square.
And together we decided to do a fundraising about the completion of and installation of the sculpture.
Ο Ντένις συνήθιζε να λέει ότι είναι φυλακισμένος ο Σοφοκλής γιατί δεν έχουμε τα χρήματα, όμως χάρη στις προσπάθειες του κυρίου Αλεξίου και κάποιων άλλων σπουδαίων ομογενών συγκεντρώθηκαν τα χρήματα και τοποθετήθηκε και το άγαλμα του Σοφοκλίου.
They have the statue, it's ready, but we don't have the money. And I said to myself, I think it's time to help. I says, let me go over there to see the statue, how it looks like and so on, because I didn't know anything about it. And the statue was there for 3 years. And it was there, they didn't have the money. From now on, in 2-3 months, we are going to install the statue of Sophocles. It is worth it, and I'm sure we are going to collect the money.
George, tell us about your involvement with Athens Square Park and why did you get involved with us?
Well, after you and Dennis approached me, I didn't quite fathom how reaching this project was going to be. But as time went on, I got to understand the meaning of it in terms of the Hellenic culture being indelibly placed on the landscape in New York. And then I began also to realize how important of an educational tool it would be for the kids to learn about the philosophy of the Greek community. And then I realized that this was the best way for the Greek Americans to give back to the city and to the country something to show their appreciation for the opportunities afforded to their parents and grandparents, and of course themselves. And we wouldn't be enjoying all the things that we enjoy today without this wonderful city and great country of ours. And that's why I stuck it through. Of course, Dennis Antilis was our guiding light. Without him, this project would not have happened. We would not have seen it through all these years. But Dennis was our true leader and a wonderful human being that will be remembered forever.
It's very emotional to talk about Dennis. I was very fortunate to be his wife. I was with him from the very beginning, and I supported him, whatever he did.
I remember Delis Dilas, the founder of the Platia Athinon, back about 4.5 years ago, being here. And I remember him being robust, despite the fact that he was aging at the time. But he was an incredible human being, great spirit, an example for all of us to follow. The Athenian Society named him and honored him as an honorable president of the Athenian Society, and he'll be a person who will always be in my heart.
He accomplished many things. He always was saying, we.
Εγώ το λέγω μεγαλύτερος Έλληνας που είχα γνωρίσει εγώ ήταν ο Σιτήλας. The greatest. Έδωσε από την καρδιά του. Και είχε μεγάλες ιδέες και γεννήκαν. Look, nothing like Platea Athinon. Nowhere in this country is there Platea Athinon like this. Nowhere. Dennis Sitilas was one of these unbelievable people. He was a true community person. He truly believed and loved community. He loved everybody. He'd come to my office with a list of things to do. This one needs an apartment. This one needs a job. This one needs this. This one. I'd say, Dennis, that's not my job. I'm not a social worker. But you have the connections. And he wouldn't leave until I committed. And the last time Dennis came to Athens Square Park, he was in a wheelchair. He was frail by then, elderly and frail. And he was so joyful and so happy. And he went to where Sophocles would be. And he couldn't wait to see Sophocles installed at Athens Square Park. So he asked to be alone for a while, and we just left him alone, just to sit there and relish his great accomplishment, Athens Square Park.
It means a place where the Greek people meet, at least through the summer months, when we organize festivals, we organize events that have an incredible quality artistical character to them, being singers, being theater, being performance by kids, dances. It symbolizes a place where people that are unable to go to Greece can find a little place and call it home. They can be on the outside, they can be on the inside of the platea, be part of it. And it symbolizes also what very few people from the Homogenia, with a big dream, they can do miracles.
Well, I pass by from Athens Square a lot of times. I see the kids playing over there. I see the old people sitting in the banks and reading newspapers and so on. And they enjoy it, particularly when the day is really nice, sunshine. And I see them and they really enjoy it, and I say, yes, we did something nicer.
The most emotional, sensitive, touching moments that I had here in Platea Athinon was last year, I remember, when we were playing demotic songs from Greece, and during a Kalamatianos song, a dance, people get up to dance and they were in a circle as always. An older couple in their 70s get up to dance. Unable to do so, I held them and I took them by the hands. I put them at the front of the circle, at the head of the circle, and slowly, slowly, slowly they made the first round, and then I set them down, hugged the kisses of course, and this was an incredible touching moment where the Platea Athinon takes meaning when it brings people together.
Athens Square to me is a great accomplishment. You know, we were a handful of volunteers who pulled this thing together. I mean, I go there and I'm so elated and uplifted to see our accomplishments. And when I do Greek nights, Tuesday nights, I do Greek nights with others. And the people come and they're so happy and they're joyful and they can't stop thanking us, myself and others, for putting together these great programs. It's give back to the community. That's what Athens Square means to me. On a personal note, it was a great accomplishment. It took 30 years of my life.
The last summer was the best. I was very emotional when I visited the Athens Square one night, and I thought I was in Greece, in a panegyri, in a feast, but everybody was so happy. Everybody was singing and dancing.
Actually, I think you witnessed some of my, the over there.
To accomplish Athens Square, I can't thank enough people. I can't thank them enough for pulling together and making this thing come to pass. All those monuments of money that we raised, there was, Athens Square Park was funded by the city of New York from the ground down.
And there were many, even today, there are many Greek American businesses over there, but the thing is this, At that time, I believe they were more than they are today. But recently, I see a new wave of Greek immigrants coming here, and this is, I believe, Athens Square is a heaven for them, because they feel home.
So exciting when you see these little children dancing there with their parents, and they're dancing to the betiko and other music. I love that. And last summer, George Kitsios, the president of the homeowners, there he was dancing by himself, happy as all hell. I videoed him dancing there at Athens Square Park.